You've been jamming money into your retirement accounts for years now. When is it okay to slow down? Joe and Big Al spitball for Ron and Veronica in Indiana today on Your Money, Your Wealth podcast number 528. And sorry, Veronica, today Joe has decided your name is Victoria. Plus, how can Scott in Illinois bridge the gap from age 55 to retirement income at 57? How should Big Juan in Texas pay for college? Should he convert his TSP to Roth? Can he retire at 55? That's your last three for Big Juan. And finally, Frank and Jane Drebin in Wisconsin are 46 and 47 and wondering if their plans for retirement in 5 years is just a pipe dream. I'm executive producer Andy Last, and here are the hosts of Your Money, Your Wealth, Joe Anderson, CFP, and Big Al Clopine, CPA.
Andy, did you say we have 40 pages of questions?
Actually, there's probably more than that now. Yeah, let's see. There's 27 emails that I have not even added to your email sheet, and the email sheet that you don't have is already 16 pages long. So we're probably on par with like 50 pages worth of emails.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But I didn't give them all to you because I didn't want you to have to print an entire ream of paper.
I do appreciate that.
Got it. All right. This is Ron and Victoria. They're from Indiana. Hey, Joe, Big Al. I've been listening for over a year and love the podcast. Thank you. Killing it. However, you make nerve-wracking financial questions fun and entertaining.
Somehow we do that.
Oh, somehow.
Yeah.
I thought it was
However.
going to be like, hey, yeah, however. You guys are a bunch of jackasses. I listened just as much for the comedy as I do the substance.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Thank you. I really enjoy an IPA or a bourbon in the cold months. In the warm months, I enjoy a little Miller Lite, High Noon, or Tito's and soda with a lemon. My buddies like to buy nice wine, so I try to drink that as often as they let me. So he's mooching off his buddies. This is the first time I've ever heard, well, my buddies. It's usually like, hey, I like some bourbon. My wife, she likes wine.
Right.
Whatever. Hey, my buddies. God damn, they sure like.
Well, he likes his drinks, and then if his buddies are drinking wine, he'll drink some of
my
that
neighbor.
too.
Yeah, I asked my neighbor what he likes to drink too. All right, Ron.
Okay.
So his buddies, they like to buy nice wine.
Yeah.
I got to get over there when his buddies are there.
I'm always knocking on the door. What are you drinking today?
Hey, I'm kind of in the mood for some wine, honey.
What do you got?
Should I invite my buddies over?
Bring your own booze.
Yeah, bring your own BYOY. All right. I enjoy their wine all year long, no matter what the temperature is.
Of course.
Bada boom, bada bing. My wife loves a little cheap Sauvignon Blanc. Oh, I guarantee they got millions. This guy's drinking his buddy's wine, and his wife likes some cheap-ass Sauvignon Blanc.
That's how you save millions. Drink everybody else's wine.
Yeah, guaranteed. The cheaper, the better. If she hits $12 a bottle, we must be celebrating something special. Oh, my goodness. Like $2 Chuck here. I'm writing in as I want to know if you think I could take my foot off the gas soon from a savings perspective. I think we're aggressive savers. Yep, I'm almost sensing that here, Ron. But I'm not sure. Based on my goals, okay. The goal would be able to reduce some stress. I created some random savings goal that at times makes me stressed out, and I'm hoping I can slow that down soon. I'm in a very stressful job and would like to retire as soon as I can when I confidently fund our goals. Okay. Other than maxing out my 401ks, IRAs, the only rational number I use for saving is about 20% of income. All right. Here's the family. Well, I would say, first of all, Ron, most people don't even sniff saving 20% of income.
No, that's a great goal to get to.
All right. So here we go. Here's the family dynamics. My wife is 45 and she stays home to manage the home and the kids. I'm 53 and I'm in sales. My income varies from year to year and it ranges from the top of 500,000 or more per year. We have 2 kids, 15 and 12. We also have a really dumb and goofy golden retriever. Okay, IRAs, here it is. 2.2 million, Roth IRA, 600, brokerage account, 3 million. Oh, just stop now.
You're right.
Cash, million. Then I'm taking Social Security at 70. Of course you are. The payment's going to be millions. I have no pensions. 529 equals fully funded. Home, no mortgage. Every year we contribute to these accounts, 401k and catch-up, IRAs, brokerage account. So he saves
Saves
$150,000 a year.
Correct. And he's got 6.8 million. I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, Ron. I would keep up with that cheap-ass Sauvignon Blanc and keep drinking your buddy's shit. Our currently yearly expenses are $245,000, not including our investments. Where are you spending $245,000? The kid?
Not on alcohol.
No. My goal is to retire 58 to 60 if possible. I want to spend more when I retire, but that number is hard to quantify. If I had to guess, the number might be $300,000 or $325,000 per year and adjust that with inflation. Here's my question. My main question, do you think I can stop funding my brokerage account when I turn 55 and use those funds as fund money or adding to my cash reserves? Could I spend all these funds guilt-free knowing I'm not jeopardizing my future? Bonus question, do you think I'm on track to retire at 58 to 60? If so, how much do you suggest we could spend per year? I know I'm blessed. However, sometimes I feel like as aggressive as our savings goals are, it creates more stress than is needed in the long run. If I know I can confidently not add as much of my brokerage, it would help me mentally as well as just trying to cross the finish line from the working life race. Thanks for all you do. All right, Ron, Victoria, you want to spend a couple $100,000, so 300,000.
Yeah. So I had some fun with this, Joe. I already ran some numbers.
All right.
So we started with 6.8 million, and I said, well, you want to save. You said you'd save at a high level for the next 2 years. I did 6%, save 150,000. You end up with about 7.9 million. You work 3 more years, 6%, and I've just said, well, maybe you just save in your 401k and IRA, so you eliminate 100,000 of savings. You end up with 9.6 million. That's a great number. What do you want to?
So what was the 2 working years? So he continues to save as much as he's saving for 2 more years.
2 years, and then he stopped saving the money in the brokerage account, which is kind of what he said. Can I slow this down after a couple years?
Okay. But he's still working, so he's not fully done in 2 years.
Yeah, because he said he wants to retire 58 to 60.
Okay, got it.
So I just went with that. So you got 9.6 million. What do you want to spend? High end is 325,000. 5-year inflation, it's about 375. 375 and a 9.6 million without even regard to Social Security is 3.9%. It looks amazing. And that's probably about what you can spend plus your Social Security. But that's just, I guess the point here is these numbers look great. You could probably retire altogether right now if you want to, but just doing it based upon what you said. And it's just a matter, like let's say you get sick of your job in 6 months and you want to retire right now, you can make this work. Probably can't spend that 325, but maybe you can spend 275 or some lower amount. So there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of options here, Joe, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of options. 6 million, 40, 50 some years old. I get it. He's just stressing, but $250,000 lifestyle, that's not.
It's a lot. And people that save that much, it's hard to then all of a sudden become a spender is what we've noticed. So just be aware of that.
Yeah.
You may spend less than you think.
Right. I mean, we see people that save this crazy amount of money here too, and then they do something, they spend a little bit more on something, and then it's like the guilt kills them.
It does, yeah, right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't had any major stupid purchases lately, but I used to.
Yeah, we used to hear about
No
it.
new Star Wars masks?
The
Star Wars masks? Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader. I got a couple stormtroopers. Yep, those are somewhere in the they're nowhere to be found.
I still think.
Oh wow, they went into storage after the marriage.
Yeah, the marriage killed.
That,
Do you still have the
Star Wars
giant
bag.
oversized golf bag?
Yeah, then I bought like a staff bag.
You got to keep that?
Oh yeah, that's in the garage next to the golf simulator. It fits like 400 clubs. I swear to God.
Wow.
I don't have 400 clubs, but if
Right.
I did, I could put it all
could-
in that one bag.
Right.
It's got like a TV in it.
Well,
too.
you can carry Rose's clubs and the 2 kids.
Yeah, there you go.
So it'd be perfect.
Yeah, we're good.
You've been saving to your workplace retirement account for your entire career. So don't shatter that retirement nest egg when you punch the clock for the very last time. This week on Your Money, Your Wealth TV, Joe and Big Al explain your options for accessing the money in your IRA, 401k, or other retirement accounts when you leave your employer, while avoiding common mistakes that could cost you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Watch what happens to your 401k and IRA at retirement on YMYW TV and download our Retirement Readiness Guide. Learn the secrets to controlling your taxes in retirement, creating income to last a lifetime, making the most of your retirement investing strategy, and much more. The 7 plays in this free guide will arm you for retirement, despite the uncertainties of market volatility, inflation, rising healthcare costs, and the future of Social Security and Medicare. You'll find links for both the TV show and the free guide in the episode description.
All right, we got Scott from Illinois. He goes, hey, gents, I'm a fairly new listener enjoying the show. I was hoping you could help me with recommending a withdrawal strategy, specifically during my early retirement years from age 55 to 59 and a half. If it all goes according to the plan, according to plan.
Good save.
That's correct.
I'll be retired from my current employer in 3 years from now at age 55. After 28 years of service, I'm planning to use the rule of 55 to avoid the early withdrawal penalty. I have included some key financial details for future reference. The numbers reflect my conservative estimate on their anticipated value on my retirement date. I anticipate my spouse to be earning $0 in wages for my entire early retirement period. In reality, that might not be the case, but I'd like to plan for this scenario. I anticipate our expenses to be $80,000 after taxes. My employer does not allow in-plan Roth conversions, so I will need to wait until my full retirement age to incorporate that strategy. I do not qualify for a pension and Social Security, although
I do
qualify for a pension and Social Security, although I do not anticipate electing either until my maximum benefit age. It would be great to hear your perspective on how to optimize my withdrawal strategy in the early stages of retirement and understand how it fits into my longer-term strategy. Thanks. Okay, that seems somewhat complicated, but we'll bust this thing out. Okay, we got, so what, he's 55 and is going to retire.
He's 52, wants to retire at 55. So he gave us numbers of what he thinks it'll be at 55.
Got it. $2.2 million in a traditional IRA, $250,000 in a Roth. They got 2 IRAs, $30,000 apiece, him and his spouse. He's got $75,000 in HSA, $100,000 in savings account, $100,000 in a brokerage account. He's going to retire at 55, needs $80,000. So how do we bridge the gap from 55 to 67? Is probably the plan here.
It is the plan. I mean,
so he needs $1 million to come out as a distribution over that 12-year time period.
Yeah, 80,000 times 12. That's about right.
All right.
Yep.
So he's got currently 2.6?
Yeah, call it 2.8 actually.
Oh, 2.8? Yep.
Yep.
All right. Sorry. So what do you think, Big Al?
Well, I think that, so what he's referring to is that if you retire from your job at age 55 or older, you can actually, and keep the money in the 401k, you can distribute money out of the 401k before age 59 and a half and not pay that 10% penalty. You still pay taxes on it, of course, but you eliminate the penalty. So I think in a case like this, where most of Scott's money is in the 401k, then I think that's a great way to go. So you bridge that gap by, you pull it out of the 401k. You have to be 55 when you retire. If you retire at 54 at 11 months, it doesn't work. So make sure you're 55 when you retire, but then you've got another 4.5 years you can withdraw money out of that 401k without penalty. And then, of course, you'll continue that. As far as whether this is sustainable, that's another question. It depends, what the Social Security would be.
What is that, 3%?
Yeah.
Roughly? You include taxes on
it? Yeah. Actually, if you think of it that way, I hadn't even done the math. But yeah, that's right. 80,000 out of call it 3 million just for a quick, yeah, it's probably 3% ish, maybe even less. So it should work.
Yeah, he's got a pension and Social Security. We don't know what those dollar figures are. He's going to claim that. I don't know, maybe at 67 or even 70.
Yeah.
So if he's pulling 3% out plus tax at 55, he's got $3 million.
Yeah.
Even if the pension's meaningful, then yeah, I would look at $80,000. He's married. His wife doesn't have any earned income. You could probably still do a little bit of conversion. So I think his real question is probably, hey, what's the withdrawal strategy? How do I convert? I can't do an in-plan conversion now. I need $80,000 for my $3 million, hypothetically. Most of that's in a retirement account. 2.3 million.
Yeah,
2.3 million dollars is in a retirement account. He doesn't have that much outside. He's got 200,000, in a taxable account.
Right.
So let's say you need $80,000. There's no other earned income. Your taxable income, if you pulled the $80,000 from the retirement account, is going to be roughly 50 grand. So he would have another $50,000 available in the 12% tax bracket to do a Roth conversion of that amount to keep in the 12.
That's about right. Yep.
Should he do the 22? Because then you got taxes on that. You want to be careful.
Yeah.
I think you would go into the 22% tax bracket with some conversions, but I would just calculate how much tax that you can afford to pay over the next couple of years, because you don't want to blow out your entire non-qualified or the liquidity there. But I think absolutely with the amount of money, you want to have diversification for sure when you're creating the income. And so he's got time. He's going to retire young. But he can't do interplan conversions.
So you'd have to wait to 55, retirement, right?
But he can't, because he can't do an
Couldn't he, at 55, you're terminated from service. Couldn't you do a withdrawal then?
I think,
depends upon the plan, I
it
suppose.
depends on the plan. Maybe he could take some of the dollars out, put it into an IRA.
Maybe you take $500,000 out or whatever, and whatever he wants to convert over the next few years.
Because he can't convert it in the plan, so can he take some of the money out of the plan because he's separated from service?
Yeah,
keep the money in the plan, so take advantage of the 55 rule to at least take those dollars out without any penalty.
That's what I was thinking. He can't do it now because he's still working, but separated from service, he may be able to keep some money in the plan and take some money out. By taking it out, that means rolling it from a 401k to an IRA, and that money you could actually convert. But Joe is correct. You do have to be mindful of how much tax you're going to pay, and because you've got a couple $100,000 in your brokerage and cash, which is great, right? But at the same time, you've got a lot of money in an IRA 401k that you'd like to convert. So that's where you just have to be a little careful.
Yeah, or he's going to have to wait until 59 and a half to do it. Or if he wants to roll the money out at age 55 and put it into an IRA, he could do a 72T tax election, which is a separate equal periodic payment.
That could be another approach too.
So now you got money, and you could split up the IRAs. Maybe you do this. You have to run the numbers here, though. So he's got $2.5 million. His wife is not only, but she's got $30,000. So you could easily convert that.
Right.
But he probably needs to convert a lot more because he's got $2.3 million.
Right.
One strategy is that he could do let's say he rolls the money out of the 401k at 55 and puts it into an IRA. And we had to do this a couple of times because people make mistakes and they don't know they can pull the money out of the 401k plan at 55 without penalty. So they roll it into the IRA and it's like, oh, well, I need access to the money. How do I get access to the money? Well, you could do a 72T tax election, which is a separate equal periodic payment. And maybe he splits it up into two.
Yeah.
And so because you have to take the payment out every single year until you turn 59 and a half or 5 years, whichever's longer. And so he could do that.
He could.
Maybe you can get $50,000 out of the SEPP, and then he's got the other IRA that he could convert, and then he could live off of, some of the brokerage dollars over the next 5 years.
Yeah, and of course, true, he could.
I don't know. That seems like a lot of work to do conversions for 5 years.
Personally, I'd rather, if I could, take some out, leave some in.
Yeah, I doubt he could do that, though.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it's worth checking anyway.
Yeah, for sure. It's worth checking. But
yeah.
All right. Well, good luck, Scotland. check your plan doc. Read the plan document to see if at 55 you can do a partial rollover.
When you're separated from service. That's
And
the
then
key.
so you keep money in the 401k plan, and then you do a partial rollover. You put that in the IRA so you can convert some of those dollars over that 5-year period. That would be the easiest and cleanest for sure.
If possible. Yeah.
All right. We got Big Juan from Texas. Hey, Andy, Joe, Big Al. Big Al and Big Juan.
Yeah. How about that?
Love the show. Found it on YouTube and now enjoying episodes when I'm on the treadmill or doing some housework. Vital details. Rarely drink, rarely drive. Long story. All right. Big Juan. But we do own the world's most annoying Yorkshire Terrier.
I'm guessing that Yorkshire barks all the time.
I'm guessing that's it. I'm 54. Wife's 52. I retired 1 year ago from USG service.
U.S.
United
government.
States government service. To become Mr. Mom for our 2 teenage boys in the last few years of college. Wife still works with USG. Will retire in the next 3 to 12 years. My pension and wife's net pay gives us about 10.5K a month. And we'll get 5 to 7,000 a month in rents from 3 investment properties. The properties are mortgaged for the next 15 years between 5 and 7% and will not generate actual profit until mortgages are paid off. Our annual expenses, including the mortgage payments, are about $12,000 a month. Here's the current breakdown. My wife's combined regular TSPs are $3.5 million. My wife's combined Roth IRAs are $800,000. Brokerage account $500,000. Wife's HSAs $8,000. 3 rental properties 1.9. Cash $15K. Question 1. One kid starts college 2 years. The other 4 years. We don't have 529 plans. Is it wise to tap my Roth, or is it better to use our brokerage account to fund our college? Do you see any other creative ways to finance college given our situation? Okay, let's stop there.
Yeah, that's a good question.
God, I would stay so far away from the Roth if I had to fund
100%.
college. I would much rather take a loan than take it from the Roth.
Yeah, I mean, I would either set up a 529 plan now, you still got some time, or I would use the brokerage account. To me, those two are much better. The Roth, it's difficult to get money into the Roth, and you would like that to compound growth so you can use it throughout your retirement to keep your taxes low. So I would not use that if you don't have to.
Okay, number 2. Would Roth conversion from my TSP be advisable in my current situation? I think I know the answer, given your general bent on the topic. Wow, Big Juan. Throwing heat. Just throwing big gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juan, you know the answer.
You got $3+ million in a TSP taxable. Yeah, you'd like to get more in Roth. That makes sense.
Tax rates are relatively low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question 3. Once my wife retires, we expect $12,000 a month expenses to increase with inflation. Our pensions will net us $9,000 a month. Rents will net us 5 to 7, but will also rise with inflation. Our health insurance is vested. Social Security will be about $6,000, but not until age 70. And we can't tap TSP or Roth until age 59 and a half. What's your spitball analysis about whether my better half could retire in 3 years at age 55?
Well, currently they have about 4.7 million. And he says $9,000 per month pensions, right? So that's 108,000, and they want to spend about 144. That's inclusive of mortgages, which will be paid off. But even if you look at 144 spending, 108,000 pensions, $36,000 shortfall against 4.7 million, that's less than a 1% distribution rate. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it. No reason not to.
Okay. Any other
thoughts?
sage advice?
Well,
Big Juan?
I think that
Did you guys have the same name?
yeah, I mean, if what I said is right and your shortfall's 36,000, then you can live off the brokerage account till you're 59 and a half, which will be probably right about that time anyway, and you can start withdrawing from your TSP. But yeah, Roth conversions make sense too. So the rental properties, I know that's what you gross, 5 to 7,000, but there's other expenses too. So don't forget the maintenance and the property taxes and maybe property management fees and the like. So just, it's not all profit, as you know. So just factor that in.
Calculate your likelihood of retirement success with a financial blueprint if you haven't already. Click or tap the financial blueprint link in the episode description, input your details, and our free tool will analyze your current cash flow, your assets, and your projected spending for retirement. It'll then output a detailed report with 3 scenarios that'll help you determine your probability of success, including future taxes and actionable steps you can take now to achieve your financial goals. Next, schedule a free financial assessment with one of the experienced human professionals on Joe and Big Al's team at Pure Financial Advisors to review your financial blueprint. They'll help you develop a thorough financial plan that addresses your unique immediate needs and your long-term retirement vision. At the end of the assessment process, you can decide whether Pure Financial Advisors is a good match for your retirement planning needs and what the next steps look like. Click or tap the links in the episode description to get your financial blueprint and to schedule your financial assessment. Both for free, both courtesy of Your Money, Your Wealth, and Pure Financial Advisors.
Last one.
Okay.
Last one of the day.
Okay.
We got Frank and Jane Drebin.
Okay.
Drebin.
Oh, Frank Drebin.
Yes,
Yep. Naked Gun.
you got it.
Yep. And Jane, that was, hey, nice beaver. Yeah. I just got it stuffed.
For anybody who doesn't understand that reference, please go watch the movie.
What? She just got it stuffed. It's like, you've never seen The Naked Gun?
I've seen it.
That's a great movie.
I wouldn't have said that, but you did.
It's a movie quote.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, Big Al, I have a spitball question for you about when my wife and I can retire. I'm 46. My wife is 47. I'd like to retire in 5-ish years. I'm not sure if that is feasible. We make a combined $300,000 annual, $200,000 for me, $100,000 for her. We currently have $325,000 in a Roth, $965,000 in a SEP traditional 403B IRAs, $51,000 in an HSA, $400,000 in a brokerage, $100,000 in cash. That equals $1.8 million. We add $7,000 per year to the Roth via backdoor, $50K in a SEP, $7 in traditional, and $23,500 in the 403B. Okay, and the remaining surplus of 25 to 75 goes into the old brokerage account. I'm hoping to spend $100,000 per year in retirement. However, we still owe $378,000 on our home at 6.5% interest, which comes to about $40,000 a year. It would be an expense on top of the $100,000 until we pay it off. I own my own business, and it's it's occupying real estate, which
Accompanying real estate.
The company.
So he owns his own business and the accompanying real estate.
Yeah. What did I say? Occupying? That's the same thing.
It was close.
He's occupying his real estate.
I think our listeners got it.
Come on.
Okay.
I told you, I'm tired.
And funny as hell.
You know?
You do have a 3-year-old.
Right? I get up at 4:30 in the morning.
I know. Go to the gym and that's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My life's Groundhog's Day.
I can see that.
And it's like, no wonder why I like to get myself visually like in the
because you
in the emails here. You know, I want to be like, what are you drinking, Frank?
Yeah.
And then Frank
and can I join
Jane Drebin, then you think of the movie and it's like, all right. If I sold my business in 5 years for $1 million and used the proceeds to pay off my mortgage and invested the rest, would we be sitting pretty, or is this just a pipe dream? I have no debt and on the business, so I assume I would pay capital gains. Also, I know health insurance would be an issue for us as our insurance is through my wife's work. And if she retired too, we would have to hit the health insurance marketplace. Maybe I could convince my wife to keep working. Huh? Appreciate your spitballing your thoughts, by the way. My drink of choice is New Glarus Moon Man. Man, I like Spotted Cow from the old New Glarus.
Yeah.
He's Wisconsin, right? It's gotta be. All right.
Only IPA available in Wisconsin.
It's the only IPA available in Wisconsin. Yeah. My cousin lives in New Glarus.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my wife prefers water. Well, she needs to while you're pounding the Moon Man. What, do you feel like you're on the moon after you have a couple of those? I drive a 2017 Honda Ridgeline and my wife drives a 2023 Toyota Prius. Wow, they still make Priuses?
Yeah, they do.
All right, cool.
They've got a new one, Prius Prime.
Oh, all right.
I have a friend that drives one.
Okay.
Actually, I have two friends that drive one.
Prius is coming back.
Yeah.
All right. Is this a pipe dream? I don't even know where.
Well, let me give you a couple numbers
Thank
here.
you. I know that
So,
you did the math.
so we're starting with about $1.8 million. I'll just take your numbers. You're adding about, if I use the lower end of what you're adding, about 120,000 a year, 6% over 5 years, you probably end up with about 3.1 million. If you sell the business for $1 million, well, you've got to pay closing costs, you got to pay taxes, right? Then you got to pay off the mortgage, right? So I don't know, maybe you end up with 300 or 400,000. Maybe you end up with 3.5 million, somewhere around there.
You mean he's going to lose what's the mortgage on the business?
Well, he wants to pay off his home mortgage, which is about 400.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just counting that in. So if he does that, if he's got 3.5 million, his 100,000 that he wants to spend without the mortgage, so that would be about a 3.4% distribution rate. He's kind of right there, I would say.
How old is he?
He's 46, and he's talking about
50 again?
Yeah, 51.
God, everyone wants to retire at 50.
I know, right?
Well, me too.
Yeah. Hey, you're retiring tomorrow?
It's coming now. It's coming.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, but I would say it's not like there's a huge margin for error. So just be careful when it comes to your distribution strategy from your assets. Then just try to have a little bit of flexibility. Markets do well, you can spend a little bit more that year. Markets do less well or go down, you may want to cut back a little bit on spending that year. So just be aware of that. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good job. You're 47 years old and you got a giant net worth. You own your business. I don't know. For people that own their own business, I think it's really difficult for them to retire at 50.
It kind of is because you're used to kind of charging.
Yeah, right. And I mean,
Yeah.
It's not easy to have a successful business. Most small businesses fail, and I think he's done a really good job. So
Yeah.
you could pick up a little side hustle. I don't know. Can he sell the business and stay on for a little bit?
Yeah, that would be kind of
maybe
cool.
consult back to the business.
Right. Maybe work
or just
half-time.
Or just be like Al and just never leave.
Or
And just work like 3 hours a week.
you know what?
Claim a giant ass paycheck.
If you can get that gig, I wholly recommend it.
All right.
It works for me.
Yeah, that's it for us. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate everyone's support. Andy, wonderful job. Big Al, you too, bud.
And back at you.
Aaron, way to go. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth.
John in Boston is in the 32% tax bracket, and Flight Deck Dad and Irish Girl in Pensacola have a bunch of tax-free pension income. Does it make sense for them to pay taxes now to do Roth conversions? Tune in as Joe and Big Al spitball on these and other questions next week on Your Money, Your Wealth. Follow us in your favorite podcast app. Subscribe and watch us, and join the conversation in the comments on our YouTube channel, and leave your honest reviews and ratings in Apple Podcasts. If you've already done all that, maybe tell a friend or 10 to do it too. Your Money, Your Wealth is presented by Pure Financial Advisors. Getting a spitball from Joe and Big Al is a great way to get a vague idea of how ready you are for retirement. But trust me, you don't want to base the rest of your life on vague. Go deep instead with one of the experienced professionals on Joe and Big Al's team at Pure. It doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't commit you to anything. They'll analyze your entire financial situation to help you develop a retirement plan that's sharp and in focus. Schedule your meeting with the Pure team at any of our locations nationwide, or get the same great service in an online Zoom meeting without leaving home. Click or tap the free financial assessment link in the episode description, or call 888-994-6257 to get started. Pure Financial Advisors is a registered investment advisor. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this podcast and does not represent that the securities or services discussed are suitable for any investor. As rules and regulations change, podcast content may become outdated. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the podcast in the process of making a full and informed investment decision.